Hello fellow cinephiles, Film Guru here. Today I'm reviewing Judas and the Black Messiah. This was directed by Shaka King and stars Daniel Kaluuya, Lakeith Stanfield, Jesse Plemons and Martin Sheen. The film focuses on William O'Neill, played by Lakeith Stanfield. He's offered a plea deal by the FBI after stealing a car and getting arrested. He has a choice of whether to go to prison or go undercover and infiltrate the Illinois chapter of the Black Panther Party to gather intelligence on Chairman Fred Hampton. And it really looks at the lengths he goes to achieve this. He's really about himself, and it's really about what he wants to achieve. But ultimately, by the time he grows a conscience, it's a little bit too late. His actions have dangerous and deadly repercussions. I really liked this. I thought it was a solid film. It was a film I hadn't heard a lot about. It wasn't until Daniel Kaluuya won the Golden Globe for his performance that I become interested in it. I'm a fan of his. I really am enjoying his work. I don't know much about the director, but I really think he's crafted a really interesting and intriguing story and film. I think he grounds it in reality in a lot of ways, where these films can get a bit carried away in their sort of production value. He sort of grounds it, makes it a bit more gritty and real and believable in many parts. He's ultimately able to show who these people really are, and not the myth that people know them by, but who they are as human beings. And I really like that. I thought he did a really great job in that regard. It's beautifully shot and really immerses you in this world in such a great way. I think all the acting is solid. They all give really great performances. I think Martin Sheen is kind of interesting, kind of almost unrecognisable, wearing prosthetics, playing J. Edgar Hoover. Jesse Plemons plays a really interesting character. He's the FBI agent who draws in William O'Neill as his informant. And he sort of, you see him trying to do his job, but the conflict he feels with that, and the conflict he feels as a human being as well as an FBI agent, is really interesting to watch. He's only in a limited amount of the film, but he's really captivating and interesting to watch on screen. And this is the first time I've really seen him sort of play more of a straight role than the sort of quirky and odd roles he usually does play. Lakeith Stanfield is a fantastic actor. I've seen him in a lot of films and he's doing really, really great stuff. And I think he does a really great job here. The William O'Neill character isn't the most likable, but he adds something to it that makes you intrigued enough by the character. And he has some really powerful scenes in the film, especially the third act, in the last 30 to 40 minutes. He really starts to shine. You really get to see the character grow a conscience and the choices he makes and how he struggles with that. And I really like that aspect. I thought that was a really great way to portray this particular character. And he has some really great scenes with Daniel Kaluuya as well. They're really great together. And it's really his story and the way we're seeing it through it. And I really like at the start of the film, we're sort of introduced to his character through an interview he does, which really happened in the 80s, talking about his experiences. And I thought that was a clever way to be introduced to the character and throw us into that particular world. But by far, the biggest standout here is Daniel Kaluuya. He's fantastic here. He's a powerhouse. He has these moments where he delivers these speeches. The way he conveys it, the energy and power he puts into it is extraordinary to watch. You're just captivated by him. You hang on every word and you just watch the actor slowly become this extraordinary force on screen. And he also has these quiet moments that he conveys so much and you really feel for him. You really start to see Fred Hampton and the portrayal of him here. He was a man who wanted to bring people together. It was more about non-violence than violence. And certain people within his organisation acted out in a violent way, which made it look more violent than it actually was and more militant, as J. Edgar Hoover and the FBI were led to believe. And just his moments here where he's just sort of really withdrawn or quiet when he needs to be. There's a scene towards the end of the film where they're talking about something that needs to be done involving him, and he has this moment where he talks about, no, it's getting back to building a school and helping the kids in the community. There's scenes where he brings different groups together to stand side by side and to create a strong front for change and the revolution, and I kind of really love that aspect to it. And I really hope he's nominated for the Oscars because he really deserves it. What a powerful and wonderful performance he gives here. The scenes that sort of stick out to me are the moments where I knew who Fred Hampton was, but I didn't really know who he was as a person. I only sort of heard stories about him and knew that he was part of the Black Panther Party, but I didn't know his involvement in it. And I felt I learned a lot in this film. It felt like it was able to show audiences who didn't know a lot about him or his involvement in the Black Panther Party or the Black Panther Party itself, and to show it in a way that people could really see what it was like, rather than being made for people who knew so much about it. I've never seen a film deal with the Black Panthers in such a way as this film, and I think that was really great. And it really immersed you in that world and in that environment, in that time and place, and within this group, and what they were trying to do, and how he was non-violent, but things escalated and became violent. I really liked that. One of the great lines that's on the poster, and he says as well, is you can kill a revolutionary, but you can't kill a revolution. I really love that, and I think that line sums up the film really, really well. Now, there are things I didn't like as much about the film, and just small. I felt William O'Neill was such an unlikable character for most of the film. He wasn't loyal to anybody, and I guess that's what they were going with the film, but I never felt a connection to him. I didn't think the film was as gritty and as real as it could have been. This film ultimately is a slow burn, and the pacing is sort of slow in particular scenes. And there's scenes where there's no music and just people talking. And I felt a little bored with those scenes. It just could have picked the pace up a little bit. I'm going to give Judas and the Black Messiah 4 out of 5. Ultimately, this was a solidly made film. It was well acted, well written, and a very interesting part of history, and a look at a particular group that I didn't know a lot about. Anyway, that's all from me today. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please hit subscribe down the bottom. Follow me on Facebook. Otherwise, until next time, enjoy the movies.